Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Mindy here. I hope you're enjoying the rest of your weekend. I don't usually come to you on a Sunday, but I just could not wait. There is a new release that you may have heard about, Invite Only Amber by the Kayali brand, and this release has so much buzz around it. Super exciting, and I really wanted to get to you and share my thoughts on it. I don't know how Kayali does it, but every single time they do a release, it creates so much buzz in the perfume community and the crowd goes wild. Kudos to their marketing team. They are incredible. Awesome job on getting everyone really excited about this product. You guys, mine was delivered while I was camping this weekend, and I tried so hard to stay off of the forums. I tried to avoid any sort of reviews that might influence my opinion on this fragrance, and it just wasn't possible. Every single place I looked, I could not escape it. I couldn't run from it. The reviews were all over the place, and so I did read quite a few. I have some preliminary first thoughts, and I want to share my opinion as it compares to some of the others that I've seen over the past couple days. One thing that I found really fun about this release was when Mona was talking about it in her video, she mentioned something along the lines of having an alter ego Monica for a whole host of reasons, and it made me think back to younger Mindy who would travel for business or go out with friends or, go to the casino and play a little blackjack, and I would always give the name Molly. I would never use my own name, and it kind of became fun. I still do that to this day. I don't travel very often, but back in 2019, a whole bunch of my colleagues and I traveled to Las Vegas for a business event, and we went out for a night, just kind of walked around a little bit, and as we would meet people, I would introduce myself as Molly. I would also introduce Holly, Polly, and Wally, and I have to say it was just so fun. I have really fond memories of that night. There was one other night as well where I was at a casino. I gave the name Molly. We were kind of chatting at the table, having a lot of fun. The casino host came over to take my ID and said, "Thanks, Mindy." Everyone around me looked kind of weird, like, "Did you not give us your real name?" Anyway, super fun. I love doing that, and I could relate completely to what Mona was saying in her video. It's kind of fun to be somebody else for a day, for a night. You just get to sneak away from your own personality and be someone else. I highly recommend for those of you who want to just have a little bit of fun, kind of toy with the idea of being someone else for the night. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump on into the fragrance. This time I did order a 10 milliliter bottle, and I think it's amazing that the Kayali brand offers this because it's a great way to play with the fragrance a little bit before you decide if you want to buy a full bottle. I did buy a full bottle of Kayali Utopia Vanilla Coco as well as Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, and while I like both of these, I have a little bit of a preference for this one. This one isn't really my favorite. It's not really my style, so I'm trying to tone down a little bit on my blind buys, and this is a good example of how I'm doing that. So as I mentioned, I was away when my package was delivered, and so I had a little bit of an opportunity to look at what people were saying about this fragrance before I actually had the ability to smell it, and there have been a lot of things said about this fragrance. Some people reference this as a cinnamon bomb, somewhat like Big Red Gum. I saw that there were a lot of comparisons to Angel Share. I saw that there were some comparisons to Lost Cherry. There is a cherry note in this perfume. I also saw references of a plastic tone. Some people compared this to a cinnamon candle, and some other people said that it is more of a toned down version or reference of Angel Share. So I have been wearing this for about the past 5 hours or so, and I can still definitely pick it up on my skin, but I'm gonna go ahead and respray it because I do want to be able to have it fresh in my mind and address a lot of the comparisons that have been made about this fragrance. So upon initial spray, like other people have mentioned, I'm definitely picking up a heavy burst of cinnamon. To me, it definitely is reminiscent of a nice cinnamon, maybe a little bit vanilla candle that you would spray in the fall time. Definitely very appropriate for fall and winter wear. As this dries down on my skin, I get very little cherry from it. I am not picking up the cherry note hardly at all. I'm getting kind of an ambery warmth. There's definitely a warm cozy feel to this fragrance. I get the cinnamon, maybe a little bit of that tobacco, and I'm also picking up the honey that is in this fragrance. This is not like honey in other fragrances, so immediately what comes to mind is Scandal by Night, because I've recently reviewed that. That is very sweet, sweet, sweet honey, where this is more of a tobacco, warm, less sweet to my nose, honey-centric fragrance. I personally am a little grateful that I'm not picking up the oud. I'm a little bit finicky about oud, and it might be one of those scent profiles that I really need to acclimate to, but at this point in time, I sometimes like it, I sometimes really don't like it at all. And in this fragrance, I find it to be quite toned down. It doesn't seem to be a heavy accord to my nose. Sadly, I don't pick up any of the hazelnut or the chocolate accord that is in this perfume. I kind of thought this could smell something like Angel Muse to a degree. I expected it to be sort of spicy and of course warm, but it is nothing like Angel Muse. So if you thought seeing the hazelnut or the chocolate notes in this perfume, I don't think it smells anything like that, and I doubt that most other people would think that as well. So I personally find this to be much more like Angel Share than I do Lost Cherry. I saw comparisons to both, and to my nose, I get a little bit of Angel Share from this, which I have on my arm here, so you may see me smelling it, and I also have Lost Cherry here. I don't think that it smells anything like Lost Cherry, and I'll dig into that a little bit more in a moment. So I do find there to be some parallels between Angel Share and Invite Only Amber. I do think there are some similarities. Specifically, I noticed that they both have sort of that very woody, cinnamon type warm, cozy feel. But I do think that Angel Share takes it in a completely different direction. With Angel Share, I get some of that apple. A lot of people say a lot like an apple pie. There's sort of some sweetness there. I also get the cinnamon for sure in Angel Share, but I also get some booziness from that cognac and some dry woodiness from the oak. I find Angel Share to be a beautiful, warm, cozy fragrance, very cinnamon-centric, a lot like Kayali Invite Only Amber, but I don't get a lot of those other nuances in Invite Only Amber. Like I mentioned, I don't pick up a lot of cherry at all, so I don't totally relate to a lot of the reviews that compare this to Lost Cherry. To me, Lost Cherry has kind of this intoxicating, sour, but also boozy, cherry-centric vibe where the cherry really does take center stage with that perfume. From Invite Only Amber, I just don't pick up the cherry to that degree. I personally feel like Lost Cherry and Invite Only Amber smell dramatically different, and again, I just don't agree with some of the reviews that say they are similar. Because I do find this to be somewhat similar to Kilian's Angel Share, I do think if you like that fragrance, there's a chance that you'll like Invite Only Amber. Another fragrance that comes to mind, it does not smell identical to this on any level, but it has kind of that warm, sort of woody feel to it, is By the Fireplace by the Replica brand. I feel like people that like By the Fireplace by Replica may also like this type of fragrance. This is definitely more soft, maybe a little bit toned back from By the Fireplace, where you get a really heavy, almost sharp feel from that woodiness, but to some degree they have some similarities to my nose. Both of them lean unisex also, and I find that to be the case here as well. This is very right down the middle. I think anyone can wear this and it'll smell lovely on them. I did play around a little bit with this, layering on this part of my hand. I put Kayali Vanilla 28 over the top of it, and I thought that also gave it another level of uniqueness. I thought it smelled really nice. I'd be curious to see how this layers with some more sweet perfumes. For example, I think this would probably layer pretty well with Lost Cherry. I also think it might layer well with the Mix Bar Vanilla Bourbon perfume that has a really nice kind of boozy, vanillic, sweet scent profile to it, and I think that would partner really well with this fragrance. That being said, I do tend to prefer fragrances that are a little bit more sweet. For me, Angel Share dips a little bit more into that sweet realm, And a lot of other fragrances that I have in my collection, I gravitate towards because they are sweet. I would probably always pick Angel's Share over this one. I would probably pick Tom Ford Lost Cherry over this perfume. But that being said, what I have personally found about Kayali is that I have to give them some time. I have to play with them a little bit before I really make a judgment call. Again, I've only played with this fragrance today, so I'm not overly familiar with it yet. But that happened with Kayali Vanilla 28. I liked it at first, but it wasn't a love at first. After I got to playing with it a little bit, I used my sample up. I was madly in love with the perfume and I had to buy a full bottle. So this is really early. I don't want to draw any conclusions yet. I want to play with this a little bit more. But that being said, I would probably rate it a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's very nice, but I'm not sure that I would reach for this over other perfumes that I have in my collection. What I really like about the Kayali brand is that it is accessible. You can find them in Sephora or you can order them online at Sephora. They are reasonably priced compared to a lot of other perfumes that I find to be comparable, but they lean less mainstream. They have a little bit more uniqueness than some of those other brands like, I'll say Lancome, which happens to be one of my very favorite brands. They have La Vie Belle, but those aren't exactly unique. And what I find with Kayali is they have a lot of fragrances that have a very unique style to them, and I think they play to a broader audience. I think the range of Kayali fragrances really can appeal to a broad range of fragrance enthusiasts, people who all have different tastes, preferences, likes. There's something for everybody in this line. If I remember correctly, Mona made a reference in her video that this is one of the more Middle Eastern perfumes from all of her releases, that it makes you feel like you're actually walking the streets of Dubai. And that's what I really like about this brand as well, that it really ties back to her Middle Eastern culture and her roots. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Definitely interested to hear your thoughts on this one. Have you tried it yet? Do you have it ordered? What is your interpretation of the scent profile? I hope you have a fantastic week ahead, and I hope you have a lot to be grateful and thankful for. Until next time, I'll see you soon.